Tell you something right now, okay? Now, if you're watching this video, you probably read the headline and you said, man, let me watch this and see if it's something that could resonate with me. So, 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago, I had this little idea. I had this idea that maybe I could um, start a business, okay? I didn't know what direction I wanted to go into. I started off in the e-commerce space, okay? I made thousands and thousands of dollars, and I've seen money that I never thought I'd ever be able to see in my life. Okay. Prior to this, I don't come from any wealthy family. I don't know anyone special. I don't think that I am some guru or anything like that. I just decided, okay, I'm gonna take this idea and then I'm gonna try and activate it and see what happens. I had $500 at the time. I in New York City decided, okay, I had a buddy that his friend, actually it was like more like a relative of his, was already doing e-commerce. So they sold furniture next door. They happened to be renting out an office, a couple of offices down. So I'm like, man, I gotta rent this spot out, and I want to give this thing a shot. I have this idea. Prior to this is just all happening. I feel like I might have been prophesizing on this whole thing, seeing it happen right before my eyes. Kicked off the e-commerce thing, bought office supplies, the whole thing. We had inventory, sold thousands of units of many different products, and that idea I seen crash before my eyes. I literally seen this idea that was working out for me just literally crash right in front of me. I had a partnership that went south. We had a partnership that was amended uh, legally. Like there were lawyers involved in the whole thing. Um, we started to lose customers. Traffic on our site was down. Everything was it was bad, guys. To the point where we couldn't even afford to pay our bills. It was a nightmare. Partnership amended. We had a location. We started making money. Everything is going good in the prior, but then things just start going south out of nowhere. So, in that process, I learned so many things, right? I learned the importance of being clear with your goals, being clear in the direction that you're going into. It was just a really dark time. I think the smart thing that I did when that business was failing was I didn't give up. I did not give up. Now, I want you to continue to listen to this video. You can do whatever you have to do wherever you are. Put it in your car wherever you are. Maybe pause it if you want to come back. I want to give you more context to the story. So, go ahead and just keep playing this. This will be up for some time. There's nothing for me to show you here. Okay? And, I use this picture because, just in relation to this picture, I've always respected Marines. I was actually going to be a Marine earlier in my life. Didn't work out. God had other plans for me. But I've always admired the way drill sergeants hold their soldiers accountable. And, there's change. There's great change that happens. Early on, there's guys that quit, but then there's guys that hang around. But through that process, there are guys that are like, I'm going to continue to work at this. This is my goal. This is my drive. And I've always been inspired by that. But anyway, going back to the story. So like I said before, I don't come from a wealthy family. I started this e-commerce business. We're in New York City. Everything is going good. Out of nowhere, there's some changes with the financial payments that we were using. We go downhill. It just didn't work out. Partnership got amended. We lose inventory to the point where I'm now down in my knees, guys. I'm in my knees in New York City, and I'm in this office. I'm looking up at the moon, and I'm like literally praying. I'm praying my eyes out like I never had before. And I said, God, like, give me the opportunity to come back from this. I don't ask for much. I've always been that way. I come from a rough background, so I'm not used to asking people for anything. I don't ask for anything. I just create my own lane. So I'm in my office on my knees and I'm like, God, please give me this opportunity to continue to do this. I know this is going to be my way out. I'm super young at this time, early 20s. And it was it was rough. I remember leaving the office that last time. It was freezing in New York. I locked up the office and I left. And, it was just a really, really hard time. It was very difficult. I didn't think I'd be able to make it through it. It was just rough financially in every way, shape, or form. It was just bad. Everything about the way that business ended was bad. But the brilliant thing that I did was, like I was briefly mentioning before, I didn't give up. I continued to push forward. I continued to reach for that goal that I was trying to reach for. And then through some planning and obviously taking all of these lessons and things that I've been through, I didn't give up. I did not give up. I started to put a plan together. And in this plan, I actually wrote it out. I wrote the name of this new business. I wrote how I want to be able to take these skills that I've learned generating traffic, starting an online store and that whole thing back in the day. That I'd want to have a way to take all of those skills and now help other businesses achieve that goal. And through some planning and through some networking, like I start to see that it's actually happening. Like I'm actually still able to stay digital like I wished. I'm able to do the things that I love. I'm closing deals now. I'm now having checks written to my house. Obviously, there was much more to this. I had to get a whole website put together. This was my first consulting site. It started off as a logo site. So I started off selling logos online. So it's pretty crazy. Like I just literally set up a website, sold logos, and I was selling logos to businesses. And that went on to several other things. So like I mentioned before, we start getting checks sent to us, FedEx, priority mail checks, you name it. And things are going good. But just like anything else, there was ups and there was downs. There was ups and downs. And I think what I did differently in that process was I surrounded myself with the right people. I got involved with, had mentors come into my life. I had people guide me through that process. So I was navigating things a bit better. Some of those guys are not even here today. And, I've always been like a sponge. I've always soaked a lot of these things up, a lot of these things that I've learned, and have just continued just marching forward. And like I said earlier, like I don't know anybody special. I don't, have a special contact or anything like that. This is all drive, all drive and perseverance and just not giving up. But my point in all of this stuff that I'm sharing with you right now is that this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy, and this is not for everyone. But your goals are, your dreams are, the things that you inspired to do are. And so in this world that we live in, we got to line ourselves up with certain things. We got to do certain things to get ourselves to that goal, For a lot of you that are a part of this community, or maybe you're just browsing around, maybe your goal was to start a business. You don't know how. But when you lack accountability, you don't have accountability. You don't have someone to guide you and walk with you and tell you, yes, you can do it. It gets rough. It gets rough because you don't have the resources, and so you're likely to make the mistakes I made early on, like seeing your bank account go red, like being kicked out of your office, like legal amendments, like going through troubles, like, I could have prevented a lot of that if I had the right mentors at that time. But I learned, like I said before, I took a lot of those lessons And, we started to build from there. I started to add mentors in my life. And like I said before, things changed. They changed dramatically, like quick. They started to happen really quick. And, that evolved into other things where now we're in a position where over the years we've been able to work with other people overseas. We've been able to work with other much larger businesses, big practices, surgeons, and on a whole different scale. Like, it's crazy, guys. It's still to this day, it's like mind-boggling. Like, I cannot believe this. Like, I've been able to do all of this far. You know what I mean? But it's possible. And like I said, I don't know anyone special. There's no one that I know. I just have this will, this drive, this ability. I will sleep, eat, and breathe this. I will sleep, eat, and breathe this day and night. And it doesn't matter what. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to reach that goal. The real question here is, are you willing to go through this? Are you willing to continue to walk through this process to get to your goal, even when it gets clouded? When your mind gets clouded and it starts to think and it starts to tell you, hey, it's not possible. You're not going to get there. No, you're not. It's not going to. Are you willing to walk past that? Are you willing to continue to march? Are you still dreaming, or did you just give up? Apparently, there's a saying somewhere, I don't remember where I found it, but there's a saying that there are people that are walking this earth and they're dead. They've given up on themselves. They've given up on their goals. They're giving up on dreaming. They've given up completely. They don't even realize it. So my question to you is, are you ready? Like, are you ready to continue to walk today? Are you ready to continue to, everybody got this saying, new year, new me. That is bull crap, man. That is bull crap. That is bull crap, man. Like, what matters is right now, what's happening right now, that dream, that car that you want, that house that you want, that freedom that you want with your family. Maybe it's that time that you want to free up to get back to that thing that you love. Now is the time. That's where you need to be. That's where you will find your truth. That's where you will find it. And like I said before, through the grace of God, I've been able to do that. Don't take my word for it. Go to redtorrentmedia.com. redtorrentmedia.com. Right now, you'll see all the people that we've been able to work with. And we've been able to empower through this process. And the difference with those guys is that they decided, okay, I'm going to push through this. I'm going to push through this process. I'm going to push, for my dreams, for the goals, for the things that I really want to do in this life. Guys, the clock is ticking. Every laptop, every computer that you're looking at, right? Like, you're probably watching this or listening to this from your phone, maybe YouTube. Look at your clock. That clock is ticking. That clock is ticking. And as I'm doing this video, it's about 12:40 p.m. It's the middle of the week. And right now, there are people at that office desk. There are people at that place where they don't want to be, but still force themselves to go there because they're falling a victim to the system, this thing we call a system of this life that we live in. We can't give up. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now, it's right now. We just can't think about it. If you do not act now, then the reality is just like you, just like me, just like everybody on this earth, we're going to sit there thinking about it, looking at ourselves like on that deathbed saying, you know what, man, I should have done it. I should have gone after that thing that I've always wanted to go after. I should have just, the whole would have, I could have. That's language that we should just remove from our mouths. We shouldn't even speak that. We should be doing now. We should be going now. We should be moving forward, taking action now. You want to start a consulting business? Get associated with the right people. You go to redtorrentmedia.com. I literally make myself available to everybody. What I'm going to do is below this video, I'll even add my contributors program. It's $27 a month. It costs you nothing. You got $27 for a hamburger to go to Starbucks. There you go. Boom. You can spend that $27 on getting someone that has been knowledgeable, who has the knowledge, who has the skills, who has proven it multiple times, even on this channel. Look around this channel. I have multiple case studies. Get yourself associated with the right people. That is the secret. I'm telling you right now, that is the secret. Get yourself associated and put yourself in the circle of the right people so that you're informed, so that you're involved in the right trainings and you're learning. You're filling your mind with the stuff that you really truly need today, not tomorrow, because that's essentially what we need. Okay? Now, with all of that said, my question to you is, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? I want you to ask yourself, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? It's January. We're about to go into February. It's the beginning of the year. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? Are we going to continue to think about that dream, that idea? Or are we going to take some action? If you feel like, hey, you know what, I'm not going to do it, I'm too lazy, I'm a quitter, it's not possible, then you should probably leave this video, because you were not serious about your dreams anyway. You were not serious about your dreams anyway. But if you are, and you feel like, I'm ready for this, I want to do this, I just need some help, I need some right mentorship, I need the right tools, I need some guidance through this, redtorrent.com, REDTORRENT media.com. Get signed up right now. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Go right now. Go right now. Go get signed up. I think there's an intro video. Watch that intro video. That was one of my first students. The individual that you're going to witness in that video, that was one of my first students. He had nowhere to go. He came off the real estate space. He didn't know a thing about how to do this thing online. He went from not knowing anything to making $25,000 plus with my leadership in place. Closing clients. Like, I've seen this guy close $1,000 deals right in front of me. $5,000, $7,000 right in front of me. I don't know anything special. I just have the skill and knowledge to be able to take people from, not knowing anything to doing something. And it's not because I'm forcing these people to do it, but it's because you already have that. It's what I'm helping you with is that thing that you have, that thing that you're looking to tap into. Maybe you don't even know what that is, but you feel like, man, I need a push. That's what I help and activate in all of my students. I get into that. We activate that so we can move forward with it. Because that thing is your passion. That's what's inside of us. That's within us. So hopefully you've answered that question. You now know what you need to do next. My next question to you is, do you have a plan? Do you have a plan? You don't have a plan? You don't have a plan? That first concept that I came with back in the day was a failure, guys. If you didn't get anything from this video, I failed. I failed more than I succeeded early in my business. I failed. And that's the truth. And the realities as to when you think you got it. When you think you got it, you got all the answers, right? I failed more. I was in debt more. I was having more bad days than good days. It was terrible. It was a nightmare. 10 plus years later, I'm here with you today. Thousands of people in my community. I've been able to serve hundreds of people throughout the world. Travel to places I never thought like I said before, I never thought I'd be able to go to some of these places that I've been to and done. Sitting alongside some of the most respected in the industry, knowledgeable, filled with skills. You can do it. But the real The real thing that you have to answer to today is like, do you have that drive? Do you have that drive in you? Do you still got that fire in you? Do you still feel it a little burning? Like, do you feel that burn? You feel that burn. You know what I'm talking about, because we all are humans walking this earth. You know, we wake up to what? We got to have a dream, a goal, or something. Do you still have that fire inside of you? Because if you do, let's activate that. Let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Don't think about it. There's nothing for you to think about. There's nothing for you to think about. The only thing that's stopping you right now is it's you. It's you. It's you. You can't close that client. Why? It's you. Your plan sucks. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, I'm going to wrap up this video. I left this link down below, redtornmedia.com. I left the contributors program link down below. And do me the favor, once you get signed up for the contributors program, within that platform, we have a platform in the back with videos, resources, community chat. You can set up 30-minute calls with me. The minute you sign up in there, go ahead and fill out the form. Let's get on a call. Let's set up a 30-minute session. It's time. It's time. It's time. The time is now. The time is now. Tell yourself that right now. The time is now. Let's say that together 3 times. The time is what? The time is now. The time is what? The time is now. The time is what? The time is now. You choose that. Like, I'm not talking to you here like I'm some David Goggins, like I'm some Tony Robbins. I'm Guillermo Mata. I'm Guillermo Mata. I've been blessed with this opportunity to empower thousands of people. You see it on my channel. Those people come to my videos every day. They're on my list every day. Why? It's got to be for a reason. It's got to be for a reason. Go to redtornmedia.com. Check out the case studies, guys. The time is now. Do not sleep on it. Do not sleep on it. We have some amazing things up ahead for our guys that are not sitting around thinking about it. They're not talking about it. They're taking action. They're taking action. The time is now. That's going to be the headline on this video. The time is now. The time is now. Don't give up. Don't give in. The time is now. I'll see you inside of the contributors program.